at 24-hour fitness on the treadmill, getting it in, getting my late night workout on. So, with that being said, let's talk some boxing. So, first of all, shout out to Brian Norman Sr. He basically came on the channel last night and wanted to set some facts straight about what happened in the negotiations with Team Ennis to set up a fight with Team Ennis for sometime this year. So they want to get it set within the foreseeable future. Basically, according to them, they didn't duck. They said basically it was maybe some miscommunication, but they made it very clear that they want that fight. So I appreciate Team Norman coming on explaining their side. In other boxing news, Shakur Stevenson has inked a 2-fight deal with Matchroom, where he'll fight Cordina, of course, on October the 12th. And then with that being said, a February showdown with William Zepeda. And if he gets past William Zepeda, then a summer showdown with Tank Davis, which will be one of the most highly anticipated fights of 2025. So hopefully, if there's no hurdles, Shakur Stevenson gets those 3 fights in that order. But Shakur Stevenson has recently fell out of favor with a lot of boxing fans for saying he don't fight for the fans, he don't care what the fans think. Me, myself, I take that with a grain of salt. Shakur Stevenson is still a young man, and sometimes people say stuff that sound kind of stupid. I think he's still one of them guys. I think that the criticism of him gets to him. Keep in mind, he was spazzing out against everybody that criticized his last performance. At the end of the day, it wasn't all on Shakur Stevenson. The guy didn't want to engage. Just like what happened with Bud's fight, where you have people trying to say that Bud lost that fight. I'm just going to keep it 100. If you think Bud lost that fight, you're a moron. You either an Errol Spence fanboy, or you just don't know nothing about boxing. Anybody with common sense could see Bud won that fight. So just stop the cap, stop the game plan, and try to have somewhat of integrity. I understand a controversial fight and all that kind of stuff, but I thought Bud clearly won that fight. I don't think nothing was controversial about that fight. The only thing that was controversial was the biased broadcast, of Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix and whoever that other guy was. And I like Chris Mannix. Chris Mannix is cool. Chris Mannix then gave me quite a bit of interviews, So, I've never really talked to Sergio Mora, but, I'm just keeping it a buck, But yeah, so Shakur Stevenson takes care of business on October the 12th. Then we'll get the matchup between him and William Zepeda, and then Tank. But yeah, I just be laughing at the fact that a lot of people just sit up here and once again they push the record button and what? Oh man, here we go. We got a troll. But I'll get rid of you soon. But anyway, a lot of times people clickbait too much. They don't do their due diligence. They just come with a flashy, catchy title and people will click on to it. And a lot of times these dudes don't be talking all facts. So I decided to go straight to the horse's mouth and see what Team Norman had to say. Now I'm going to reach out to Team Ennis, see can I get a hold of them so I can hear their side of the story without judging. But that's what you do when you're trying to get to the thick of things. I'm not finger pointing in nobody's direction. I think it was some miscommunication, but at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn is known for pulling this kind of stuff. If it's one of his fighters, he's gonna make it look like whatever happens or don't happen is because of the other guy. You know, Eddie Hearn is a master spin doctor, so he's good at this kind of stuff. So, you know. Don't worry about him. Like I said, I'm gonna get rid of him. I'm gonna get rid of him soon enough. See, there you go. I mean, he wanted some attention, so he got it. All right, but let's get back to boxing. So, you know, Brian Norman Jr. and Ennis, that'll be a hell of a fight. That's one fight that I think probably ain't gonna go the distance. Either Norman is gonna knock Boots out or Boots is gonna knock Norman out. And both of those guys have dynamite in their hands. So, you know, only thing I'm worried about with Brian Norman Jr., his defense is a little shaky. That's about it. You know, his defense is a little shaky. But, you know, that could be fixed by the time the fight rolls around. That could be fixed by the time. But I hope that fight happens. I will go to Philadelphia. I will go to the East Coast for that fight. Sorry, Kobe. If that fight happened, I'm gonna have to do that fight. But so you might have to sit that one out. But yeah. But if that fight happens, I'll definitely try to tap into that fight, depending on what's coming up. So, you know, right now I'm focused on the card next month with Jaime Munguia, Arizona. So if everything goes correct, I should be able to get into that fight like going to Arizona. Yeah, I would have to go to Philly for that one. Cause Philly, that's my home away from home. That's like my second home. So, you know, everybody knows I done been to Philly plenty of times. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to Maxis. So, you know, the only thing I don't like, that according to Team Norman, that basically they getting had when it comes to negotiation. Basically, they have to submit to everything. Now, I asked them, was there certain tangibles they wanted going into that fight? And they basically said they not going to be a diva about negotiations. They said basically they wanted some more money. I'm like, damn. And they're saying basically that they're going to have to go fight on the zone card. But they said Bob Arum is willing to step aside, that Bob Arum is going to take the money to let them go fight on the zone. You know, it's funny when you think about this. For years, you heard this excuse about, oh man, they fight on this network, they fight for this guy, they fight for that guy. Oh, these kind of fights can't be made. Now all of a sudden, these fights can be made. So that just goes to show you that a lot of times it was smoke and mirrors, that it was just cap. And we know who was the specialist when it came to not letting their fighters go fight on other platforms. You know, because what happened was he really didn't believe his fighters could win those fights. That's all it come down to. So, you know, yeah, they could have been making these fights all along. So now you see, you know, the cat is out of the bag. Now you see the main person who held up fights, who kept fights from happening is, well, you know who. Now all of a sudden networks are not a problem now. Networks are not a problem. Platforms are, it was really no hurdles. It just goes to show you that these fights could have got made. Just goes to show you that Bud, he could have been fought Danny Garcia. He could have fought all those guys. But they basically stalled him out. They prevented him from getting fights. They basically roadblocked him into becoming undisputed earlier, throwing up all these hurdles. So now you see it ain't no problem. Now all of a sudden, it ain't no other side of the fence. What happened to all that? Oh, he on the other side of the street. It was cap. It was cap. Go listen to that interview. Go listen to that interview. Now it ain't no problem with people fighting on other platforms. Man, at this point, Teofimo Lopez, I'm gonna say this, and Teofimo Lopez is full of crap. Teofimo Lopez is what you call, he's suffering from penis envy, towards black people. That's all Teofimo do is try to clout chase black fighters. He talk all this stuff and he really don't want to fight nobody. He was offered the Brian Norman fight and he turned it down. And Teofimo talk like he must see TV. As I said before, Teofimo can't sell out the parking lot of Starbucks. He don't have no fan base, just like Lomachenko. Nobody cares. Nobody cares to see them fight unless they fighting a black fighter, or unless they have to go to Australia or something. Teofimo fighting, like I said, Teofimo is fighting in parking lots. He can't even go to a full-fledged arena because nobody don't want to come see his ass. But yet he always got something to say about black fighters. The dude just jealous. And that's all it come down to. At the end of the day, he can get all the low-top fades he want and listen to rap music, but he'll never be black. And that's just the bottom line. So, I don't even pay attention to him. He just be clout chasing black fighters. The thing is, he hates something that he wish he could be. That's the funny part about it. He talk crazy about black people, but he admire black people. And at the end of the day, he won't ever be black. That's what's so funny. These dudes be trying to sit up here and be talking stuff about black people, but then they try to emulate black people. And then you have these burnt bacon looking niggas like Kai Kanat talking about that we don't have no culture. We are the culture. We invent culture. Obviously, we do have a culture. If people try to emulate it, capitalize off of it, and make money off of it. So, how do we not have a culture? He ain't even, man, not even Mexicans want him. That's the thing. He don't have no place. He don't have no place as a fighter because he way down on the totem pole as far as Hispanic go. But then he's not black neither. So that's why it's hard for him to find a fan base. That's just real talk, And then it's funny how he sit up here and be talking about, he be trying to talk crazy about Devin Haney. That Devin Haney should run it back with the steroid user. But my thing is, you ain't never talked about running it back with Sandor Martin. You ain't never talked about running it back with Jermaine Ortiz. 2 fights that I thought that you both lost, you know. And that was funny. I was at both of those fights. And I thought Teofimo lost both of those fights. I thought he lost to Sandor Martin. He got knocked down twice and only got credit for one, Sandor Martin, that is. And then he got outboxed by Jermaine Ortiz. So, you know. And then he keep talking about Devin Haney and how Devin Haney went about the Ryan Garcia fight. Listen, Devin Haney should never apologize for basically doing what he was supposed to do. No matter how much these idiots, you know, try to cape for Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is a cheater, and he a known cheater. Now all of a sudden they trying to change the narrative and say steroids don't make a difference. Well, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But at the end of the day, if you have something in your system that you are not supposed to have, you cheated. It's that simple. Doesn't matter whether they work semi, work a little bit. If they're in your system, you cheated. And then people talking about they don't respect Devin Haney like Devin Haney care about these people respect. Like he's supposed to care what some loser who don't come outside sitting up behind a computer think. And like I said, as far as Teofimo go, Teofimo was making excuses about why he lost to George Kambosos. Something was wrong with my heart. I damn near died. Well, nobody don't want to hear that. Okay, the same way you talking about Devin Haney shouldn't make excuses, which he had a legitimate excuse. People really mad at Devin for basically protesting a guy that popped dirty. Like he was supposed to sit up there and just be like, okay, I'm gonna take the loss. Nah, fuck that. And at the end of the day, these punk want to try to play these games. We know if the roles were reversed and Devin Haney tested positive for PEDs, whether he won or not, they would be saying he should be suspended. They would be coming after him. But at the end of the day, these people, the thing is with Ryan Garcia, when you got racists and Sambos protecting you, that help you gain influence and gain power, because a lot of these black content creators, they're cowards. They sit up there and say, don't make it about race, but then you had this coke sniffing, bug-eyed Garfield the cat looking nigga putting emphasis on Ryan Garcia, talking about, and other people talking about that Devin Haney jumped a Hispanic dude. Well, at the end of the day, his punk ass got what was coming to him. Leave people alone. And that's just real talk. Don't say nothing to nobody. At the end of the day, in this climate, if you walk up to people, if you start talking crazy to people, a lot of times people be looking for attention. They trying to clout chase. And I find it funny that all of a sudden they picked a certain amount of time to start recording the video like they was trying to set Devin Haney up. At the end of the day, Devin Haney did what he was supposed to do. All this stuff about lawsuits and all that stuff, if it turns out the dude was antagonizing him and he walked up to Devin Haney had every right to defend himself. But like I said before, nobody said nothing about Caleb Plant being with those Mexicans, and they jumped somebody. Everybody was bigging Caleb Plant up, saying he was the boss. But then they saying Devin Haney a bully. But then when I call the racial double standards out, everybody want to say, don't make this about race. Of course it's about race. Let's not be stupid. And this is why a lot of people get mad at me. Like, I'm not one of these dudes that sit up here and go shy away from the subject, or basically try to be, try to play stupid and try to ignore what the obvious is. Not gonna do that. I'm not built like that. So people need to just stop the cap. We all know what it is. Let's not play these games, okay? Let's not be stupid. Because we know what it is. We know what time it is. So man, it ain't just him, it's a few other people. It's a few other people. At the end of the day, these people is fully exposed. Now, nobody didn't make no videos in regards to Ryan Garcia saying that stuff about the people, well, the you-know-who people. There was no videos saying Ryan Garcia is out of line and he should be taken off social media. But if Devin Haney say something, but these the same people that was just so outraged by Devin Haney saying he'd never lose to a white boy. But then Ellie Setback with his fake ass, yeah, I said it. Ellie Setback is part of that community, but yet Ellie Setback ain't made one video talking about that. But he always got Devin Haney's name in his mouth. People kill me talking about, and then you got weak black people talking about, oh, well, you can't always let somebody get you out of your space. See, only coward black people talk like that. And that's the reason why we in the situation we are now. Because we the only ones that's told or made to believe we need to ignore people, turn the other cheek, let God handle it, pray for them and all that kind of stuff. Well, at the end of the day, I'll pray for you and I'll let God handle it after I beat your motherfucking ass. I'll pray for you afterwards. Because you don't hear nobody else saying that towards other people. They only try to do that to us. They always try to use, like I said, these fake shaming tactics. The fake Jedi mind trick. And these people ain't smart enough to be a Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Not even close. Like I said, we the only ones that's told not to defend ourselves. But everybody can say what they want to say about us. Well, I'm not living by that law of the land. Who says we can't say nothing back? You think I care what some dude that ain't black think about me? Oh, you guys are emotional. But then every time I say something about them, then they sitting up there, you know, trying to snitch people's videos out and all that kind of stuff. Like, but then they say we emotional. Go figure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He ain't said nothing about Ryan Garcia, but yet he always got something to say about Devin Haney because he got an issue with Bill. And a lot of people, that's what they did. They declared war on Devin because they mad at Bill. Why don't you talk to Bill? That's all I'm saying. And Ellie Setback is at the end of the day, Ellie Setback is a complete fraud. And he exposed himself as a complete fraud. Ryan Garcia said something directly about your people, but yet your ass ain't nowhere to be found. You ain't saying shit about it. So, at the end of the day, Ellie Setback is a fraud. He a fraud. And when I see his ass, I'm going to tell him. Now, I'm not going, now, to make things clear, no, I'm not saying I'm going to, you know, I'm not saying that I'm going to physically, you know, come at Ellie Setback because I know how people, but I am going to just tell him. I'm just going to tell him he completely exposed. So I don't want to hear nothing from this day. Ellie Setback disappeared. But he had a whole bunch to say about Devin Haney and what transpired at the county fair. And like I said before, I don't give a damn about them stomping that dude out. Got what was coming to him, bitch. And I hope you listening too, you bitch. So now y'all see that Ellie Setback is a complete fraud. I appreciate Ellie Setback helping me get my foot in the door, helping me. But at the end of the day, enough is enough. Enough is enough. For you to sit up there and not say nothing. But you always got something to report about Devin Haney. And Ryan Garcia directly attacked your community. Now, I bet you if Devin Haney had said something about it, he would have been making videos. Well, at the end of the day, what Devin Haney said was deplorable, disrespectful, and he should apologize. But nobody did make Ryan Garcia apologize. Mainstream media ain't saying nothing. That bitch Malika Andrews ain't nowhere to be found. Stephen A. Smith's Sambo ass ain't nowhere to be found. But these the same people that went after Kyrie Irving for just saying he was gonna watch a damn movie. Where's Shaquille O'Neal at? Where's Charles Cooley? They always got something to say about everybody else, and they ain't nowhere to be found. So fuck all of them. That's just real talk. So there you have it. But anyway, you guys, appreciate you guys being here. It's your boy Tam. I'm out.